Getting your COVID-19 vaccination is an important part. Help everyone stay safe as we continue to fight the spread. And we can protect those most vulnerable around us. With easy access to vaccination locations and the growing ability for more people to be protected, it's our best shot to keep moving forward. It's our best shot for a strong, healthy community. For more information, visit miamidade.gov/vaccine.
And welcome in WDNA 88.9 FM into the Frost Jazz Hour here this fine Thursday late morning. I'm your host, Philip Capuzzi. Thanks so much for being with us here on the program, whether you're listening on 88.9 FM, WDNA.org, streamed live across the world. And also, if you're unaware, we have a video live stream in addition to our audio broadcast of this program that's available on livestream.com as well as youtube.com. You can subscribe to our channel WDNA Radio to stay up to date with all those live streams, and you can also check out the myriad of different wonderful performances in the archive on that YouTube channel as well. So with us in the Jazz Gallery here this morning is the highly acclaimed Funk Fusion Ensemble from the Frost School of Music. Really quite the ensemble from semester to semester, but I must say this iteration specifically is quite primo. So I don't think I'm going to talk for much longer. I think we're just going to get right into it. This iteration of the Funk Fusion Ensemble features Jason Arkins on tenor and alto saxophone, Ben Taylor on guitar, Bo Cornelius on keys, Mike Ramos on electric bass, and Jack Dratch rounding out the ensemble on drums, of course under the direction of Steve Rucker. So without further ado, they're going to start with an composition from Jason Arkins entitled Rollin' with the Punches here on the Frost Jazz Hour, WDNA 88.9 FM. Yes, sir. Rolling with the Punches, as composed by Jason Arkins and performed by himself alongside the Funk Fusion Ensemble here on the Frost Jazz Hour, WDNA 88.9 FM. Thanks so much for tuning into the onset of this program, aired every Thursday morning from 11 a.m. until 12 noon, bringing in some of the premier ensembles from the Frost School of Music, as well as some students and faculty, whether they be present or past, that have connection with the school to bring in some of their own situations, where this morning, of course, is the former, one of the incredible ensembles at the Frost School of Music, coming in to perform some music, which for this ensemble specifically, Funk Fusion, is very exciting and unique every time, because the specific intentionality of the ensemble is to allow its personnel to bring in different compositions and kind of work together to put together a set. So it's always really exciting to hear them play. They have quite a bit of music to get to, so I think we're just going to keep moving forward. This one, a composition of the bass player Mike Ramos, entitled Jack's Big Downbeat, here on WDNA 88.9 FM, the Frost Jazz Hour. Jack's Big Downbeat as composed by Mike Ramos and performed by the Funk Fusion Ensemble, and oh, it is big indeed. Really incredible to hear these guys play here on the Frost Jazz Hour. I'm your host, Philip Capuzzi, with you every Thursday morning from 11 a.m. until 12 noon for this program, and then actually sticking with you from 12 until 3 for the Latin Jazz Quarter after the conclusion of this program. And it's been really quite a pleasure, like I mentioned, up to this point. We've been hearing from Jason Arkins on tenor and alto saxophone, Ben Thomas Taylor on guitar, Bo Cornelius on keys, Mike Ramos on electric bass, and Jack Dratch on drums, and this ensemble, of course, under the direction of the incredible Steve Rucker, incredible drum player and educator here in the South Florida scene. It's always a pleasure to have him come into the station and hear what these guys have been working on. So, as we approach the bottom of the hour, we're going to hear one more tune, this one a Dratch composition entitled Tapping, here on WDNA 88.9 FM, the Frost Jazz Hour. The Funk Fusion Ensemble live and direct from the Jazz Gallery here on WDNA 88.9 FM, the Frost Jazz Hour. That's the first half of the program. Still quite a bit of music left to go. That last tune entitled Tapping, composed by Jack Dratch and performed by this wonderful ensemble live from the gallery. We're going to step aside briefly for some important messages from the station and come right back with some more live music here on the Frost Jazz Hour. Back into the Jazz Gallery here on the Frost Jazz Hour this fine morning at WDNA 88.9 FM. I'm your host, Philip Capuzzi, with you every morning from 11 a.m. until 12 noon for the Frost Jazz Hour as we bring in some of the premier ensembles from the school. This morning, greatly honored to have the Funk Fusion Ensemble come in and play some of their original music. We've heard compositions from the tenor player Jason Arkins, the bass player Mike Ramos, and the drummer Jack Dratch up to this point in the program. And now we're going to step forward with a composition from Bo Cornelius, the keys and piano player here this morning, entitled Get Fished, and that's PH, referring to, of course, getting your password taken from having someone send you an email. So be wary out there, guys. Don't get fished. Coming up next, Bo Cornelius' composition Get Fished here on the Frost Jazz Hour. Get Fished, performed by the Funk Fusion Ensemble here on the Frost Jazz Hour, WDNA 88.9 FM. I'm your host, Philip Capuzzi, pleased as always to be joining you from 11 a.m. until 12 noon for this wonderful program of live ensembles, all with a connection to the Frost School of Music, coming into our jazz gallery and performing some incredible music. And speaking of that, some of the upcoming programs that we have in the coming weeks. Next week, the new music ensemble, under the direction of John Yarling, will be here in the gallery to close out our April programs. And then moving into May, Martin Bejarano will bring in his piano trios situation. And then after that, Ben Beal, near and dear here to WDNA, will be coming in to play some of his own music. So those next three programs are very, very exciting. Looking forward to them, to say the least. I also wanted to take this opportunity before we get into the next tune just to mention that if you have it within your means to support WDNA and support programs like the Frost Jazz Hour, the FIU Music Hour, our Jazz Encounter series has been starting up again recently. Those are some of the live programs. And then, of course, all of the uniquely produced programs from our studio from a week-to-week basis. If you do have it within your means to support WDNA, you can go to WDNA.org and donate. It's tax deductible, although, of course, the season has passed, so you'll have to wait until next year to square that away. But it really does make a huge difference here at WDNA to bring in that listener support. It comprises a large portion of our operating budget, so I like to mention it at least once a show. If you've never donated before, or maybe it's been a little while since you've shown support for WDNA, but you've been listening to the station fairly consistently, I just call you to take the time to go to WDNA.org. You can donate securely. Really, any amount goes so far, but a donation of $60 or more makes you a sustaining member, which comes with a number of perks, included like discounted access to some of our live shows here at the Jazz Gallery. And it really is just so important for us to bring in that support. Of course, not in the middle of an official drive right now. And thank you again to everyone who donated during our spring membership drive. It was a great honor and pleasure to raise funds for the station during that time period. But as always, I'd like to mention it at least once during the program. So WDNA.org to donate and support wonderful music like this, support WDNA and the community that we're all involved in here. So with that said, we're going to step forward with another Jason Arkins composition. We heard from him at the onset of the program with his tune Rollin' with the Punches. And now we're going to step into another tune entitled In Focus here on WDNA 88.9 FM, the Frost Jazz Hour. WDNA 88.9 FM. That tune entitled In Focus, composed by Jason Arkins, who you heard from on alto saxophone on that composition. Thanks so much to everyone for tuning into the program to this point, whether you be listening on 88.9 FM here in South Florida or you're listening on WDNA.org, which is our audio live stream streamed live across the world. And there's also a video live stream as well that you can check out on livestream.com or youtube.com at our channel WDNA Radio, which is masterfully produced by our back-end team here. Always a pleasure to go back to those programs and check them out. And mentioning that, there's an archive as well of all the past shows. So if you want to check out one of the past iterations of the Funk Fusion Ensemble or any other ensemble at Frost or any of the shows that have come through the station here, all of those are archived on our YouTube channel. Some really incredible shows that we've had here in the gallery through the years. So I really, really do recommend taking the time to peruse through it and see what you connect with. And, of course, subscribe to that YouTube channel as well to stay up to date with all of the new live streams that we have coming out. And just to mention them once more, speaking of new live streams, next week we have the New Music Ensemble under the direction of John Yarling coming into the gallery on April 28th. Of course, Thursday, 11 a.m. to 12 noon, as always, for the Frost Jazz Hour. And then after that, stepping into May, we have Martin Bejarano, the incredible educator and pianist who Frost is very, very lucky to have, similarly to Steve Rucker, with his piano trio situation, a new project at Frost that Martin has been heading. And then after that, Ben Beal. And then actually after that, on May 19th, Nicole Garcia, near and dear here to the WDNA family, having stepped into the Tuesday Latin Jazz Quarter a few months ago. She's going to be coming in and performing some of her music. She's a wonderful vocalist and arranger. So looking forward to that program on the 19th of May. And for us here this morning, as we look to close out the show, just to mention the personnel once more, Jason Arkins has been on tenor and alto saxophone throughout this show, Ben Thomas Taylor on electric guitar, Bo Cornelius on keys and piano, Mike Ramos on electric bass, Jack Dratch on drums, and I really, really do recommend not jotting down those names and checking out these musicians because they're really on some serious tips individually, of course, in this ensemble coming together, but really all of them some really incredible stuff as musicians. So I recommend tapping in with them sooner rather than later because it's hard to say exactly where they'll go, but very, very excited to see how everything manifests in their careers. So I just wanted to mention that. So as we close out the program, we have now composition from the one member who we did not hear a composition from, Ben Thomas Taylor, and his tune entitled Rock Club here to close out the Frost Jazz Hour on WDNA 88.9 FM.
Ensemble on WDNA 88.9 FM, that Ben Thomas Taylor's composition Rock Club. Thanks to everyone on the live stream for sticking to the conclusion of the program. It was a great honor to host the program. I'm Philip Capuzzi. I'll be back with you next week. Thanks so much to Steve Rucker for coming in, bringing this wonderful ensemble as always. One final time, Jason Arkins on tenor and alto saxophone, Ben Thomas Taylor on guitar, Bo Cornelius on keys and piano, Mike Ramos on electric bass, and Jack Dratch on drums, and all of them bringing an offering of a composition as well here this morning, which was incredible to experience. Thanks so much, and I hope everyone watching has a wonderful rest to their day.